Welcome to Tech Talks, Evolving Distribution. I'm Corey Hayes, and with me is Bill Rosado. Today, we're exploring how digital transformation is reshaping the distribution industry.
That's right. From e-commerce platforms to CRM tools, we talk with industry experts about how distribution can embrace these changes and thrive in the ever-changing space.
Whether you're just getting started or looking for new insights, we've got you covered. Today's episode is packed with information to help you navigate the digital shift.
So let the tech talk begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tech Talks. I'm your host, Corey Hayes, alongside, as always, Bill Rosado. Bill, how you doing today?
Wonderful, just wonderful.
And we are very excited to have on our special guest over from Tribute Software, Tim Simpson. Tim, how you doing today?
Doing absolutely wonderful. Thanks for having me here today, gentlemen.
Yeah, you're looks like you're coming from a beautiful Harbor Links golf course in South Carolina. I mean, can't get any better than that, right?
You have to have the mindset that everything is paradise.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to think about it. And speaking of paradise, let's get into our podcast today. Tim, just introducing you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself to the audience. Give us a quick little rundown on what it is and what you do, who you are, and what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So my name's Tim Simpson. I work over at Tribute Software, home of the powerful TrueLinks ERP solution, which empowers distribution facilities and operations nationwide to have the ready tools on hand. My background's kind of unique. I started my journey in finance for almost a decade. And then one phone call away from Bill Horrigan, who's our VP of marketing and sales here at Tribute Software, got me hooked. And here I am today, and I've been working in this industry now for about 3 years, and I couldn't be more excited about the opportunities that are coming forward inside of our industry. Every day, something new is happening, and it is just beyond exciting. So, but yeah, no, that's a little bit about me. So it's just an exciting opportunity inside of our industry. And like I said, jumping from finance into the fluid power world was a little bit of a scary leap to say the least, but it's one that I couldn't be more appreciative of now today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to get to know you and get your take on just digital transformation as a whole. And I think it's exciting. I think you're the first ERP specialist that we've had on. So really excited to have this conversation today.
Absolutely.
Hey, just a quick question, Tim. So in your 3 years, how many distributors / manufacturers have you had the chance to actually visit face to face? Or
That's a great question. As you both very well know, inside our industry, face-to-face interactions is paramount. Building and fostering relationships and learning everybody's unique situation is what makes our industry so great. Everybody's doing the same thing, but everybody has their own secret sauce that makes them successful in their own right. And over the last 2-3 years that I've worked here at Tribute Software, I visited roughly 200 to 300 different manufacturers, distributors, as well as vendors, you name it. I mean, in just 2024 alone, I visited 31 states and 5 countries. So
Wow.
we get out on the road a lot, building and fostering those relationships, having face-to-face conversations with folks to really understand what their challenges they're facing on a daily basis are, as well as their successes that they see on a daily basis are equally as important. So
All
that
right,
was a
so
great
all
question.
those visits, right, and talking to them about challenges, and we're talking about digital transformation, but the core, right, is ERP, right? Can you kind of give us some of those challenges you've seen over the last few years?
Yeah, so the challenges that companies face in the digital transformation surrounding just ERP solutions is kind of unique in our industry, right? We have a lot of resistance to change. Change is scary, change is new, because not only does it change software packages going maybe from an antiquated system like handwritten invoices or a solution that wasn't custom tailored for our industry. The biggest challenges is day-to-day process changes, right? You're changing a very inefficient process to a very streamlined process inside of these businesses. So people fundamentally the way that they're doing certain aspects changes almost overnight. Now, inside of that, you see different kinds of challenges, right? Training people on a new software package. You see people starting to use technology in different ways that they've never used it before. You're talking about getting employee buy-in to change to a new solution, and that's probably one of the biggest hurdles. You have people that have been doing the same things the same ways for decades on end. So that's why I go back to saying change can be scary, but what I can tell you and I can assure you is as these organizations have made these changes to a more streamlined software solution, it's a little tricky at first. And then I get a call 2, 3 years later and they're like, I cannot believe I didn't do this sooner. This is the best thing inside of my business. My people have more time to focus on what matters now. They're not doing double entry of data. They're spending time handwriting invoices. Our accuracy on our orders has improved. Our customer satisfaction is at the highest level it's ever been. So as much as the challenges are there, the gratitude that comes after those steps change is immense, right? But I'll be the first to tell you that those changes aren't all sunshine and rainbows. It's, you're changing a lot of critical pieces of the way a business runs, but again, the return on investment and getting efficiency back inside of your business is of the probably the utmost paramount things that a business needs to do, especially in this modern era, right?
Yeah.
So it in it's just one of those things where change is scary, but change is necessary, especially in a more tech-centric environment that we're in today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
within
And
that, go ahead, Corey.
oh, you're fine. I was just gonna say, I like how you're touching on why an ERP is specific, and maybe just to back up for just a second, and then we can get into what you were saying, Bill. I can't tell you how many times because we work on the e-commerce side of things, right? We're really just the integrator into that ERP. I can't tell you how many times I've had a phone call with somebody asking me, "Hey, can we look at setting up a website for me?" And I'm like, "Well, what's your ERP?" And they don't even know what an ERP is. Like that's they run this business, they have a distributorship, and they don't even know what an ERP is. So maybe just talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old for just a second and say, why is it an ERP really important and specific? And I know you've touched on this a little bit, kind of just through your whole spiel there, but what does an ERP do for somebody's business as a whole?
No, that's a great question. So an ERP is an enterprise resource planning system. It's a type of business management software that integrates various core business processes and functions, such as finance, your general ledger, purchasing, accounts receivable, accounts payable. It also does things like supply chain management, customer relationship management, inventory, warehouse management. It's an all-encompassing business tool. So you touched on it very well there. I mean, some of the businesses that we work with, the thought of something of a tool that's that powerful is really scary because you're going from a very simple thing to an all-encompassing software solution. I mean, ERP solutions touch every aspect of a business in interesting ways, right? So if somebody's used to using like I don't know, like a smaller accounting package and that's all they're using in their back office, the leap to a solution like ours in ERP is really really impactful. It improves the efficiency, productivity. It gives business owners information at their fingertips that they've never had before. So the best way to kind of say it is you're going from lamp oil to electricity inside of a business in a lot of cases, right?
Yeah.
No longer do you have to go around and fill up these lamps or order more carbon paper, if you will. Now you can look at a computer, you can look at a mobile device, you can check your business while you're on vacation in Bora Bora if you want. So it really does give business owners the tools at hand to make real-time decisions inside of their business, whether they're on site or at home. And that's really why an ERP is so critical inside of our industry and fluid power is as we get into this digital transformation, attracting newer, younger talent to kind of carry that torch forward. You have to make yourself more attractive as a business. The younger generation expects to have all-encompassing software. That's what they're trained on in college. That's what they're utilizing in high schools. So if your business is missing that core functionality, attracting that talent to preserve your legacy becomes very, very challenging.
So when you talk about, right, the change, right? So we're going from lamps to electricity. Talk a little bit about maybe the resources as far as from an IT standpoint and how the range is of the distributors and manufacturers that you guys work with.
Yeah, so I mean, the range of distributors that we work with very small organizations that might only have a headcount of less than 10 employees to organizations that are multi-state, multinational that might have 400 to 1,000 employees. So the IT challenges are unique with ERP because it doesn't have to be as complicated as it might feel like on the surface. But there are going to be critical changes for an organization that has never really utilized information technology or utilizing on-site support or has never had a server or has never hosted anything in the cloud. There's a bit of a learning curve, and that's why it's so critical to partner with organizations like Aldrich or Tribute because we help educate throughout that journey. Here's some things that you're going to need. So it's an educational journey for a business owner. And that's why I said before that partnering with the right organizations to help guide you, hold your hand, help you make those decisions. It's not a customer based relationship, right? It is a partnership. When people partner with Aldrich Web Solutions, they're not just getting a well rounded e commerce package, right? They're getting the education, they're getting tips, they're getting tricks, they're getting different ways to maximize their investment. And that's going to be the same with a solution with ERP. Anybody that makes a decision to transition to a all-encompassing ERP should be looking for somebody that can help guide them, additional resources, being able to pick up the phone and call another business. But going back to your point with IT, many distributors don't have dedicated IT teams, and that makes implementation and ongoing support challenging. So that's why, again, like we as an organization partner with several different IT providers that can be on site nationwide. So it does change some little areas there, but again, it can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be. And that's the biggest thing with ERPs is that when you select one, you want to find one that regardless of the size of your business, it meets today's needs, but it also has the options and the functionality to grow with your business. It's not a change that businesses want to make on a regular basis because of how time consuming it is to make that change.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the other side of that, just to lead into the next part here, on the other side of that, we've talked a lot about the challenges that you see. We've talked a lot about just maybe some of the things that your clients, your prospects are up against as they're moving into an ERP environment, as they're
Mhm.
moving into digital transformation. Let's kind of talk about that from the other end, flip the coin over. What have you noticed? What trends have you seen in the prospects turned clients that this has really breed success and this has gone, really well and has stepped up their game? What does success look like for an ERP transition?
First and foremost is going to get buy-in from everybody that's associated in this project, right? No different than any other change in a business. The number one way to make an implementation or a transition to a process successful is to get everybody on your team excited about it, right? Change can be scary, but change is also really exciting because now you have new tools. It's no different than a guy in the back shop when the Snap-on truck shows up and he gets a bunch of shiny new tools that make his life just that much simpler. So
Mm,
the implementations that I personally see that go the best are ones where everything's laid out, right? Here's
mm,
our critical milestones. Here's who we need to have involved here, and then having that buy-in from their employees. But the biggest thing is accountability, right? Is holding your employees as well as the organization that you select in that digital transformation to do all of the steps that they need to do. Hey, we are getting rid of all of the old dusty, archaic ways that we're doing things, and we are bought into a new process that is going to drive efficiency. You're going to stumble a little bit here and there, for sure. It's going to be a different process, right? It's not the same as writing down an invoice anymore. It's not the same as, for you guys where it's not the same as these customers calling in and looking at a catalog sitting down there at their desk in their office. Right now they have access to a PIM. They have access to catalogs digitally. They can go to their website. They can find this information. So that's why in the success stories, it's people that get bought into we are
mm,
changing for the better. And where I see kind of touching on your previous topic of where do I see them fail is if you have one or two negative Nancy's in that group that aren't excited about it, that's a tough decision for a business owner. And luckily, I'm not the one that has to make it, right?
yeah.
But you want to have everybody bought into change, right? And that's
Yeah.
where I see the most success happen.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Well, then tell us a little bit about, and again, I know this may sound like a little bit of redundancy on the question side, but just to really break it down for those people that are potentially looking at an ERP, what do your customers say? You know, what have success stories have you heard? Hey, this has changed our business, and here's how. And maybe just give us like the where the rubber meets the road on how it's changed your customer's business.
Absolutely. I mean, for our customers, number one, if we kind of look at going from like lamp oil to electricity, like electric lights, it's that same core functionality, right? Now, when their
Mm,
customers call in to ask questions, hey, do you have this female JIC 37-degree swivel in stock? And in less than 30 seconds, I can pull my inventory from multiple locations, give that customer a definitive answer, and be able to service them in a faster, higher level. That's number one. But number two, what I've seen is that the increase in efficiency and productivity, that's not just for the people that have been there longer, right? Now, with tools like ours, if you're onboarding somebody new into your business that might not know, a 100R2 double braided wire hose from a garden hose, right? You have that information at your fingertips. So no matter what customer calls in, who they get on the phone, they're going to be able to sound like a subject matter expert on day one,
mm,
right? And that's where we see in our solution how it impacts our customers the most is the customers that they're working with are now having a better overall experience working with them. So they can go back to focusing on the relationship side of the business, and that helps build that relationship even stronger because no matter who they get on the phone, it's the same process. It's the same information. It's a subject matter expert that's providing them with the knowledge they need to in order to solve whatever challenge they have, right? And that's where having the right tools at your fingertips and the digital transformation is so critically important because
yeah.
you want to be able to onboard somebody and then they can put them on the phone and get them to work within a week and they're going to sound like the same guy that's been in the shop for 30 years. That's where our
Mm,
customers see the biggest success is the efficiency gains, the building of relationships and fostering the growth there, and it makes it an easier onboarding experience. It's easier to get new people inside your business, which then allows your business to grow, right? People aren't spending 10, 15 hours a day or a week or whatever anymore working on ancillary non-revenue generating tasks. Now they can focus on how can we grow this business together and we're all working towards a common goal. It's hard to do that if everybody's using 5 different processes inside of a business to get to the same end
yeah.
result, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. All right. And then kind of the big question here at the end that we
Uh-oh.
ask everybody. the million the $1 million question. What is the biggest tip that you would give companies looking to embark on a digital transformation journey? What's that one thing that, hey, you need to lock into this and this will change your life?
Start with the right solution provider, right? You want to work with an ERP system that is specifically tailored to your day-to-day functionalities, right? You don't want to try and get a round peg into a square hole and now you're using workarounds to get to that same end result. With us, we focus primarily on industrial distributors because we were one. We started as BW Rogers Corporation in Akron, Ohio, and then built our own software solution, and here we are today. So working with a provider that is custom tailored to your industry, that's going to give you the tools at hand, whether it's a custom host configurator, an ease of use and building out bill of materials, that's step number one. So you want to find somebody like us or whoever it's going to be that is tailored to exactly what you do, right? And then you want to make sure that that software solution provider like us also has the additional features that can help you grow. Like us partnering with Aldrich Solution has empowered our customers to grow e-commerce and be more prevalent inside of our industry. And it's increased their revenue, right? And that's just one aspect, is just on e-commerce. But you want to work with a provider that's going to have the additional features that you can turn on and off as your business grows that are
Mm,
tailored again to your industry, right? Like I know Aldrich Solutions for years now, and I couldn't think of a better partner for us that helps our distributors have that next chapter, that next step, right? In order to build out e-commerce. I mean, Bill Rosato over here can tell you all the success stories about how important that is, but it's
yeah.
true. So find somebody that's made for you, find somebody that has the partners and the additional features that can grow with your business. And the last thing that I would say is find a solution provider that's going to be willing to help guide you on the journey. Not just, here's your solution, good luck, best of luck to you. The big differentiation when you're making the right choice is working with somebody that has people that know your industry. You don't want to waste time during an implementation explaining how you do business, right? That's enough to make you want to rip your hair out. I mean, you can tell that Bill's already ripped all of his out.
Bill's
probably
already done
explaining
it.
this in the past, right? But that's the thing. You don't need, you want to work with somebody where you don't have to explain what you do on a day
Yeah.
in, day out basis. So
Yeah.
that's my
Well,
biggest piece of advice there.
I appreciate that advice, and I just want to just make a quick statement that we appreciate in our space, right, in the hose industry, really what you guys do for the industry, right, the community. We appreciate that you have something that's very specific to what their needs are, and understand who they are and can help them grow. We greatly appreciate that, Tim.
It's a mutual partnership, and I got to tell you that, you know, I don't want to sound biased, but working with Aldrich has been one of the easiest partnerships that I've been able to see here working at Tribute. I mean, the attentiveness, the level of care, it's mutual, right? Clients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And that's why going back to selecting the right organizations to work with when you're looking for these challenges to be overcome with the right solutions, you want to work with people that care about you on a human level, that not just people that care about you to get a sale, right? And there's vastly different ways to look at that, but at the end of the day, you want to work with people that are vested in your success.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and we tell our customers the exact same thing, and we tell our prospects the exact same thing that you just said. You know, you want somebody that is tailor-made for your specific business. And when it comes to, you know, our side of the coin, it's the exact same model that we're built on and that we've had success on. So, yeah, I'll just back up and echo everything Bill just said. You know, I think it's a great partnership that Tribute Software, TrueLinks, and Aldrich have, and that's something that we've really appreciated. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this last question. I hope you don't feel like you're getting interrogated, but
Making me nervous.
No, this one's an easy one. TripNet is right around the corner, and you know, it seems like every ERP has their own shows and trade shows and functions and where they want everybody to get connected. You talked a lot about just the benefits of rolling out an ERP and becoming partners, just the logistics to your business. But can you talk about just the community factor of it, the community side, and what you've seen people gain from that, having other distributors with them, and what's that like for people?
First of all, I'm going to tell you, it's one of the most incredible things about the community that we have as far as our user base. You nailed it right on the head. Our TribNet user experience, we're one of the last ERP companies that hosts their own, right? We bring in distributors from all across the world that come in, and for, you know, 1 week, it's kind of funny because a lot of them can be competitors one day, right? We all show up together at our TribNet user group and everybody's a friend, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things about selecting the right community, just as much as the right solution, is that our users, the people that work with Tribute, they all talk to one another, right? Everybody in this industry talks, but when you see everybody sit down and they're like, "Hey, I'm struggling with this. What do you know? How can you help me?" Right? Can I call you later on? And then building out that network of people that are doing the exact same things that they're doing, those are the kinds of things that make our community very special. Is that one day you're a competitor, the next day you're like, how can you help me? And they're going to pick up that phone, they're going to go on site with them, they're going to visit with them hands down. We have one user, he traveled around to about 10 or so of our different users to their shops just to see what he could do to help them out and help grow their business, right? So that's the part of selecting the right community or making the right choice. That I'll steal this from my finance days, but not all of your ROI can be measured on a spreadsheet. Not all of your decision can be put into an ROI calculator and see it in black and white, black and red, right? But having that additional community, that support, knowing that every single year my solution provider is giving me an environment that's going to help me grow, not only be more efficient on the software, but also build and foster relationships with other people in the industry, it's critical. I mean, we work with a lot of up and coming new businesses, but we also work with a substantial amount of established businesses. And that advice that they can give one another You can't
Yeah.
put a value on that in
Yeah.
dollars and cents. You can't. So
Absolutely.
thank you for pointing that out. I mean, so if you haven't signed up for it, definitely sign up for TribNet. It's coming up here in June. It's really exciting. I know that Corey's going to be there as well as our entire team, but it's one of the things that makes it really, really special. And the last thing that I'll touch on with our users is that we as an organization do something very, very unique in the sense that we don't dictate the trajectory of our functions and features. We have boards that are built out of the users on our software, and they help us build out a roadmap that ensures that everything that we do down the road aligns with what they need as a business. I can't think of any other software solution that still has board members that are their own users.
Yeah.
It's unique, but that's what our customers need. We can't sit back here just like Aldrich can't sit back without our customers' feedback. We're nothing, right? We need
Yeah.
their feedback to ensure that our solution's tailored to them every single day, every single year, now and in the future.
Yeah. That's awesome. Any closing thoughts or remarks, Bill?
No, again, we just appreciate the partnership. We enjoy helping people within our community, right, grow between the two of us.
Absolutely. I'll leave you with this. I mean, the most successful companies are those that embrace change. They invest in the right technology and they empower their teams to adopt new tools. So the best last piece of advice I could give anybody that's utilizing this podcast here today as a tool to help them make the right decision is start small, plan strategically, and commit to long-term success. There's definitely going to be some bumps and hiccups in the road as you go through this journey, but the destination is paradise, and it's exactly where you want to be.
And with that, we circle back to where we began. Always have the mindset of paradise.
You have to. And we've all been on a road trip with our families. You might get a flat
Yeah.
tire, you might,
Yeah.
whatever the case might be. But once you get to that destination and you see how great it really is, the journey was definitely worth it to get to there.
Absolutely.
So, and
Yeah.
I'll echo what Bill said. The partnership between Tribute and Aldrich is strong. It's lasting. It's never going anywhere. We couldn't be more excited about the future opportunities that we can build together, as well as the additional features that we can collaborate on for both of our solutions for our customer base. That's the last thing that I'll tell you is really exciting about working with Aldrich and Tribute together is very rarely do I see partners that are so willing to help each other to help their customers at the highest level.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more excited about the future, as I'm sure you guys are as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? That's why we have this podcast, is to build better futures and get people thinking about how their future could be different. That's really the idea of having these conversations, is because you're touching people that are in multiple different points of their walk in their professional career. You have some people listening that are been around in the industry for years and have good ERPs in place and good e-commerce decisions in place. Then you have some people that have absolutely nothing and are getting fresh started and really considering their future. But both of those people, regardless of where you're at, both of those people need to be thinking, what can I do to better improve my future and the future of my employees and my company? So that's really the name of the game. So thank you so much, Tim, for jumping on today and having the conversation with us. Loved what you had to say. Really think it's really beneficial to anybody who listens. So we enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And
Thank you both so much for having me.
Yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you so much for listening to Tech Talks, Evolving Distribution. We will see you next time.
Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Tech Talks Evolving Distribution. Thanks for tuning in.
And we hope you've gained some valuable insights on how to embrace digital transformation and stay ahead in the distribution industry.
A special thanks to our sponsor, Aldrich Web Solutions, for supporting this podcast. With over 20 years of experience, they've been helping distributors win online and maximize their digital presence. Be sure to check them out if you're ready to take your business to the next level.
And if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. And of course, share this with anyone who could benefit from this conversation.
We'll be back next time with more expert insights. And until then, keep evolving and embracing change.